with the great news. So the Vintage Bash 3.0 at KNOX coming up in very late October. So starting on the 31st of October is the Vintage Bash 3.0, and it's about, where are we now? About 7.5 weeks away. And lots of exciting things are happening in the background, and I converse with Lou Solar very often about the event. Now, I'm in no way affiliated with running the event or organising the event, but fortunately for me, Lou and I get to exchange ideas and concerns and what have you. So, and I'm sure he's working with his team down there, and they're coming up with some solutions for what is set to be the very biggest RC event in Australian history. Now, I don't just mean vintage event, but I mean even modern event. So last I heard, Scott Guyett had mentioned that the 93 national titles had something like 327 entries. Could be wrong on that number. But so far, the Vintage Bash has 344 entries for this year's event, which even eclipses the Australian national titles, which I think is sitting around about 300 at this point. So incredible news, and this event's going to be huge. So to anyone who still doesn't grasp the concept, I've got a couple of cars out here, and they're both Yokomos, and this is the Yokomo 834B, and this is basically a Wonder Dog fighter, this version. So there was the earlier version, which was the basically the flexible plastic chassis, which has been re-released by Yokomo, thankfully, and it's now out there in stores. And that came out, I think it was about 1983. It was considered a very competitive car for its time, and so this is something I'm going to be running in that earliest era. And why or why not? So I've never actually raced one of these cars or even tracked one, but I've been building up a bunch of these. Some guys over on Facebook have seen I built up 7 cars and of this series, 834 series, and this specific car is what I want to put around the racetrack. But at the other end of the spectrum, a Yokomo MX-4. So this is about as late as you can run at the Vintage Bash, and I really wanted to, again, remind anyone who possibly doesn't get the concept of what this event's about, which is it's an era-based event. So traditionally, classes were made where they were, stock or modified, or even just a 540 silver can class, and that's really cool. That's what's been done plenty of times in the past. Vintage events have been run, and they have had hot shot classes. They've had pipe frame classes. So if your car had a pipe frame body as standard, like a Mugen Bulldog or a Herbo Zerta or an AYK Viper, something like that, or Kyosho Gallop, or Javelin, those were the cars we entered into those classes. And that was a long time ago now, but they were really fun because they were a bit of a throwback to that early era, and it wasn't about who could bring the most competitive car to the racetrack, but who could bring possibly the most interesting cars to the racetrack, which is exactly what the team down there at KNOX wanted to do this year, and I completely applaud them for it. Many people do support them, and so the concept is they've got 4 different eras. They've got the 85/87 IFMA dates, which now no one's to say that you have to run a car that was run at that actual IFMA. That's not what it's about. But let's just say you're a racer and you wanted to enter at the highest level the World IFMA Championships. You would turn up to the 1985 IFMA, and it would had to have been a car. It couldn't have been an MX-4 because no one had a DeLorean. No one could go forward in future and go grab one of these modern cars and come back and race it. No, you had to race what was available to you back then. So the 85/87 era was any model that was available to the public, and I might get a bit touchy on this subject, but potentially even prototypes that weren't available to the public, which was of course like the 87 turquoise Optima Mid kit that was re-released by Kyosho. Now, that wasn't a car that was available to the public, but Kyosho have had a bit of a go at recreating that vision and giving that to the public, so that car could potentially be run in the 87 class. Now, that's cool, but the proviso is that it's a silver can only class. So the 85-87 is a silver can control motor class, and the wheels can't be bigger than 2 inches. So you can have smaller than 2 inches, but the limit is 2 inches. Now, these are 2-inch rims and tyres. I've got a set of Kyosho, these modern little square block tyres. Now, they've proven really good on that racetrack, but that's not to say they're the only tyre that'll work on that track, because in the past, even last year, I watched a Kyosho Javelin re-release go around that track with the kit tyres, and it really hooked up. The tyres are a really nice soft rubber. They've got a foam insert. So 2-inch doesn't mean you're not going to be able to get the car to go nicely around the track. It just means that to hold on to that era, you know, there were no 2.2-inch rims available to anybody back in the 85-87 era. So when people come to grid up, or any bystander or other racer who wants to view the grid or that race, it's literally a step back in time, you know, so you can actually see how it would have been back then. And that's something so unique, because I don't believe anyone has captured that concept better than what will be captured at the Bash 3.0 this year. And to my left here, we've got basically the latest type car you could run in that event. So they've got a 97 to 2000 type class. So any car, you could still run this in the 97/2000 if you were crazy enough to want to, or you were just driven to do it, because officially that car was available to market back then. But what the idea is to actually put cars down on a grid that are competitive with each other based upon, you know, the evolutionary improvements that are available back then. So that's what this event's about. You know, it's about the evolution going from the earliest IFMA through till around about 2000. So, and everywhere in between. So there are 4 categories, 4 eras. So we've got the 85-87, then there's the 89-91, so 89 St Ives, 91 Detroit Wells in USA, and then you've got the 93 to 95, so any car that would have fit in that bracket. Now, Lou is working around the clock, basically, to entries have opened and entries have closed. So in 12 hours, entries went up, and boom, it just went crazy. And Andy Cook and Lou Solar have been receiving people's payments and collating information, and I think it's possibly up on the page now on Facebook. I'll have to go back and have another look, but Lou showed me the entries last night. I got to log in and check it out. And with that said, came another big surprise, a really huge surprise, and I was fortunate to be told, maybe 24 hours ago, and we have another special international guest joining this vintage meeting, and that is, drum roll please, Jun Watanabe. So Mr. Blockheads himself is coming over from Japan, and he's already entered. I think he's got 5 classes entered, which is the limit for anybody, and that's going to be super exciting, especially for all the Tamiya heads who really do want to get the most out of this event. So we've got Jun Watanabe himself coming out, and I think it's the guys from Hearns might have been organising that with him. I'm not sure how that all fell into place, but that's the talk I've heard. And wow, it's just so exciting. So we've got Keith from RC Icons coming out from the USA. We've got Michael coming out from the USA. Dwayne's coming out from Canada. We've now got June coming out from Japan. We've got a bunch of guys coming out, Hayden and Christopher and some other guys coming out from New Zealand, and a bunch of guys coming into States. So I think we're at over 110 entrants so far. That's 110 plus people are coming to actually compete in this event, which is, it's never been seen before. This is the biggest it's ever been. So Anyway, I just wanted to get together with the audience. Now, if you're not attending the event, no problems. You'll still see a bunch of the action because I'm going to be there with cameras, and hopefully some friends will kick in and help out as well. So I'm going to record as much as I can while I'm racing and marshalling and chatting with other people. So I might do some interviews with some people out there, and which brings me to this thing here. So I've actually now got a microphone, which is basically a Rode wireless setup, which I think is really cool. So I'll be able to walk around the pits, talk to some people, possibly have some interviews, and yeah, so exciting things are happening. I've been flat out building cars and setting things up ready to go. I've got a giant banner made up for the True Vintage RC channel, which I'll have on my gazebo, and a giant display stand with a lot of cars coming. So if you thought Bash 1.0's stand was something to behold with the cars on it, you will not believe what's going to be on my stand this year and how big it's going to be. So be prepared for that one. So I will get back to the audience with more videos leading up to the event, and hopefully I hope to do some releases of footage each evening at the event. You know, I'll take down my computer and try and grind out a few small videos, just little updates and little snippets of things that are going on before I get home, and really dump all that footage into my hard drives and start grinding through and making up some awesome videos from the event. So anyway, here we are, earliest, latest, and I hope that's helped a few people out to understand what's going on with the Vintage Bash 3.0. And one last thing, so the classes over 85, 87, they are limited to four-wheel drive. Can be any brushed motor, but it's a limit of a 17.5 in four-wheel drive. As for two-wheel drive, there's a limit of 21.5, which is obviously open timing. And as for stadium truck, that will be limited to 17.5 as well. So anyway, I hope that helps some of the guys who are attending who possibly haven't really looked into it too much yet, the rules and what have you. So start setting your cars up, get ready for this event. It's going to be bloody awesome. Cannot wait to get down there. And Keith flies in, I think it's around the 27th, something like that maybe, can't remember, 25th, 27th, something. And I'm picking up from Sydney Airport. He's coming back to this place here, and he's staying with me for almost 3 weeks, and we're travelling down to KNOX together in my van and with all our gear, and we're catching up with a lot of people down there as soon as we get there. So anyway, sorry for the waffle, but guys, keep yourself posted to this channel, because I'm going to try and update more things as they happen leading up to the event. So if you haven't already subscribed, I might ask you please to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. If you like any of the content, why not give it a like? Go back and check out, I've got so many good videos on my channel that I've invested myself into. It's ad-free. I make nothing from it. I don't earn a dollar. The build videos I've done, you know, the best quality I've learnt how to do, coming from no background in editing, you know, or video creation. So, but I really do appreciate the support, and I hope to see you on the next one. So thanks guys, take care, and talk soon. Bye now.